think it's shameful. Um, Not the scandal itself, but the way the person who is being accused and his supporters have carried on about this. Because if people will remember, this did not just start now. Doubt about Tinubu's ancestry or certificate, his history as a person has been on for more than 20 years now. In fact, it's as old as Nigeria's democracy. The doubt, the questioning, of who he is, what he is, his academic records. And I remember that when the late legal luminary and senior advocate of the masses, Chief Gani Fawemi, equally raised this issue while Tinubu was the governor of Lagos State. They deployed thugs to attack Chief. I almost killed him, destroyed his vehicle, and all of that. Something which demonstrates that the only way that Tinubu has continued, to evade answering these questions clearly has been by attacking those who raise it. And even now that members of his own ruling elite are now the one raising it, you could see the brazen manner. They have continued to defend it and say that it's a non-issue. Meanwhile, it's a big issue. Not because academic records are actually a requirement for performance in office, but actually because when people lie about things like that, or when those kind of things are shrouded in secrecy, it only shows right from there that this person cannot be trusted with the destiny of a nation. Yoruba people will say that the way the Sunday will be directly known from how the Saturday, appears. So that if someone comes with that kind of scandal about them and they cannot answer it clearly, whether they went to a school and whether the certificate they are presenting actually comes from that school, and the answers to that have to be gotten, through expensive, legal challenge in the U.S. courts and all of that, and all of the rigmarole, to try and ensure that that itself does not come to the Nigerian court here, the Supreme Court. All of that simply just shows that we're in trouble in this country. Many Nigerians abroad, including those who are planning to travel abroad, have talked about how this has affected the image of the country and affects, you know, their own image, when they present themselves abroad or at embassy. So, in that sense, this is not an issue, that's just restricted to an individual. It affects everybody. But most importantly, also, is what I said, which is that it shows that this is not someone, that can be trusted, with the destiny of a nation. And it's already clear, even from the way he has carried on with governance since he came in, without regard for people, for what they say and their opinion. You continue to drive through policies that continues to affect the lives of the people, like subsidy removal. And when people say this is painful, this ought, you say that there's nothing you can do, but they have to accept it that way. We can't continue to have a leadership that operates in this way, and we expect that Nigeria can move forward. And that is why it is important at this stage, regardless of which political divide anybody find themselves. This is something that everybody has to condemn. Which, I mean, and by saying that if your academic record as the president of this country is in doubt, the best thing is for you to step aside, because already that shows that you cannot be trusted with the destiny of a nation. That, however, does not mean support for those who are raising this question, because we know that all of them, are the same. If you begin to look to shine a light on Atiku himself or on Peter Obi, we are going to see all kinds of scandals. Of course, Atiku is known to be part of those who have arrested development of this country, not just by being the leadership of the Privatization Council while he was the vice president, but there are rumors that because he's dominating the importation of what do you call it now, of electricity generators, that's also part of the reason why Nigeria has not been able to get it right. And this could just be a rumor. It may not be a statement of fact, but I can't remember that Atiku himself has at any point in time tried to provide answers to this question, to say that, oh, I'm not involved in any private business, or if I'm involved, that has not colored, my policy directive and choices while I was the vice president and the chairman of the private council. So in that sense, you just see that they are all the same. So what it means to me as a person, as a socialist is that these are clear lessons that and signals that shows that for us as working people, as young Nigerians, as Nigerian people who want a change, we need to build a alternative political movement to replace this corrupt, elite who are in the leadership of this country with people of integrity, but also people, who have the ideas, of using the common patrimony of this country, which is the resources, to develop the country as a whole under a socialist program. That's the only way forward at the end of the day. But like I said, this is not, a scandal that can just be rubbish under the carpet. Don't forget one thing, that this issue of certificate standard itself was how this so-called Fourth Republic started. With the Salisu Buhari, who was the first speaker of the House of Reps back then, 1999, and he came with a Toronto certificate. And when people began to ask questions, it became obvious that this person did not even go to all of the schools he mentioned. So, if Tinubu himself who claims that he fought for the Jesus democracy, if he's aware of this history of how this democracy came about, then he ought not to be the kind of person that people will be asking questions about whether you had your certificate or not, and you will not be able to answer clearly. But you will only be able to answer a question clearly, really, when you are sure of yourself. If any one of us is asked whether we went to a school or where is our certificate, we can answer clearly because we have got nothing to hide. So I think that this is a bad omen for us as a people, and all of us working people must stand up and oppose this, asking him to step aside if he cannot answer those questions, while also seeking for a clear leadership away from these characters.